Cricket presents the Campfire, and thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Ashley Bullington. Today, we are taking a look at District 7 6A, who invites one of the most storied programs in Texas high school football, up from 5A, the Highland Park Scots. After realignment, this district consists of Highland Park, Jesuit, Irving, MacArthur, Nimitz, Richardson, Berkner, Lake Highlands, and Pierce. The addition of Highland Park could completely change the outlook of this district. Let's start things off by analyzing these teams in our film session.
The defending district champions are Jesuit, but they have been hit with the graduation bug as only 3 starters return on both sides of the ball. Two-way star Robert Fitzgerald and quarterback Gage Roy are the biggest losses on the field, but the Rangers will hope athlete Jake Muzo and running back Cameron Martin will bring excitement to the offense. The biggest news to the district is Highland Park moving up from 5A to make this a 9-team district. The Scots have an experienced quarterback in Brennan Storer, and he will have some exciting weapons on that side of the ball. Lake Highlands finished second last year with just 1 loss, and they bring back 8 starters on defense. That could be key, with players like Carson Klein and Sam Hutton holding down on the D. It gives the offense time to develop. Those 3 teams seem like solid playoff teams, but the 4 spot is up for grabs. Berkner made the postseason last year, and they returned 12 starters, including wideouts Jarvis Sane and Troy Randall. Pierce only got 3 wins last year, but they were all in district play. They will be solid defensively in 2022. Irving Nimitz also made the postseason last year, and quarterback Pablo Maldonado hopes to lead them back. MacArthur's running game will push them towards the playoffs with Darrell Smith and Jerbrandon Henderson. Irving High and Richardson combined for just 1 district win last season and will fight for respectability in 2022.
All right, let's dig even deeper into 7-6A as we bring in our Inside High School Sports Insider, Matt Diggs, along with producer Ward Fasold for our district breakdown presented by Cricket.
All right, it's district breakdown time. We're going at 7-6A this year, which is now added a new team to the district to make it 9 teams, and that team is a doozy with Highland Park coming up there. Talk to me about how you feel this district may play out.
I feel like we're back in 5A D1 with all these 9-team districts, and we got our first 9-team district in this thing. I think it's going to pretty much play out like it did last year, as far as who is at the top. But now we've got a big dog in here in Highland Park, and I think Highland Park is going to push everybody back down. But Highland Park is just loaded at quarterback. Obviously, having Brennan Storer coming back. But their competition for second team is going to be the kind of quarterbacks that could probably go start for half of the other teams in the area. Highland Park Quarterback University, quite again, they are just going to be a offensive juggernaut. Paxton Smith coming back at running back, John Rutledge at receiver. We talked about how last week a couple of the teams like Plano West are really looking for receivers. Highland Park's 5th and 6th receivers could probably go over and start for Plano West. Highland Park's got some Grayson Schrank. I just keep Luke Herring. I just keep looking at all of the talent that they have on the offensive side of the ball, and I'm amazed. They're going to have some questions on the defensive side of the ball, and it's been a few years since Highland Park has had to win by shootout, but I think this year might be the year that they have to win by shootout. But I think they're going to be in the right district to win some shootouts and have a defense that is kind of young. If you remember a couple of years ago, Ward, Southlake had a very young defense, and they got lit up in non-district. And by the time they were playing Duncanville in the playoffs, you wonder, like, it's an all-world kind of a thing. And Highland Park very well may be like that this year with a lot of people that you don't know about. And then by the time we get to week 11, week 12, and starting to get to the playoffs, we start to know their defense a little bit.
We would talk 8-6A because these guys are going to play some Arlington kids in the first round of the playoffs when they go. We'll talk 8-6A next week.
We'll talk 8-6A next week. We'll see you down the road.
You've given enough of your money to gas and groceries this month, so when it comes to your wireless plan, don't overspend another second. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Digsy and Wiz will have even more about this district on our social media platforms this Wednesday. Now let's take a look at some of the athletes you should keep an eye on in this district and our players on the rise.
At Highland Park, quarterback Brennan Storer hopes to bring the Scots into Class 6A with a bang. As a junior, Storer threw for 2,500 yards and 25 touchdowns as Highland Park went 10-2. Storer also ran for 8 touchdowns as well. His ability to scramble out of trouble and still make an accurate pass is what makes Brennan stand out. Storer verbally committed to Western Michigan in May. Jesuits' Hunter Krupp is one of the fastest receivers in the state. The senior uses that speed to get open early and often on the gridiron. Last year, he caught 62 passes for 1,300 yards and 15 touchdowns. That's an average of over 20 yards per catch. In his first year running track, Krupp ran a 10.66 meters, which was top 25 in the state. Another track athlete that is a threat on the football field is Luke Herring of Highland Park. Herring is a part of a dynamic receiving corps for the Scots, as last year he caught 20 passes for 399 yards and 5 scores. On Highland Park's track team, Herring runs the 110 and 300-meter hurdles. Look for Herring to eclipse his receiving stats from last year in 2022. The best athlete in the district could be Lake Highlands' Shamar Donaldson. As a junior, Donaldson was first-team All-District as a receiver and a defensive back for the Wildcats. On offense, Shamar had 21 catches for 254 yards and 4 scores, plus another 300 yards rushing and 6 more scores. As a cornerback, Donaldson picked off 3 passes. Another player that brings speed to this district. Expect Shamar to make big plays again in 2022.
Dallas Jesuit was flying high in 7-6A the past 2 years, but that could change with the addition of the Scots. Our Ward Fasold caught up with the Rangers head coach Brandon Hickman to talk about the district and Jesuit football in our Media Day segment.
All right, it's Media Day, and we are joined with Brandon Hickman from the Dallas Jesuit Rangers for 7-6A talk. Coach, you guys one district loss in the last 2 years, and the district looks pretty similar except for that one interesting ad with Highland Park jumping in. What are your thoughts on 7-6A for 2022 as far as how you're going to try to strive for another district title?
I mean, it's exciting. We haven't played Highland Park, I think, since 2002, so it's been 20 years. I know a lot of our other sports play Highland Park, and it's become kind of a rivalry with those sports. So I think it adds another great team to the mix. It's exciting for our kids to be able to play against a lot of kids that they know.
You guys had some turnover there. You only got a couple returners on both sides of the ball, but with the inexperience, you guys, I mean, when you were rolling through the district, I mean, you threw 3 shutouts up last year. I'm sure some of these guys got some significant playing time last year that are going to be starters this year. Maybe talk a little bit about some of the offensive guys you hope to step up this year.
You know, last season we had the injury bug a little bit. You know, we lost people. Many people don't realize we lost 14 starters. So, you know, we had a lot of sophomores that played last season, got a lot of experience. I think we brought up 12 sophomores that were on varsity. So, no, we're excited offensively. We've got 2 quarterbacks we feel really good about. Most of our offensive line graduated, but we have 1 returning starter. I play like our skill position. We've got 5 or 6 receivers that I feel like are going to be really good this season for us. So, you know, nothing's going to change for us offensively. We'll still tempo and run the ball and throw it around a little bit.
Well, hey, I appreciate you joining us, and good luck through the season play. I know we do this a little bit early, but hey, we're in Texas. It's never too early to talk high school football. So I appreciate you joining me.
That's all right. Thank you, Ward. I appreciate you. Take care.
No problem.
We'll post the entire interview on all of our social media this Friday, but that's going to do it for this week's show. Join us next week as we talk 8-6A and the Arlington ISD schools, plus the Grand Prairie schools. You can keep up with everything going on in the high school football scene on our Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram accounts. Until next time, I am Ashley Bullington, and thank you so much for watching the show.